Bengaluru-based Optimo Capital has raised 150 crore rupees in Series A funding led by its founder and MD Prashant Pitti with backing from Bloom Ventures and Omnivore. The Fintech NBFC uses AI and digital land records to cut property loan approvals from weeks to hours and has already built a 350 crore rupee loan book across 56 cities. To talk about how property-backed lending could unlock India's biggest untapped assets, its land, joining me now is Prashant Pitti. Prashant, welcome back to Startup Street. You recently stepped down as Managing Director of EaseMyTrip, saying you wanted to focus on mentoring startups, urban traffic solutions and new ventures. Now with Optimo Capital raising 150 crore rupees, you've made a bold pivot from travel tech to fintech lending. What gap, Prashant, did you see in the loan against property space that traditional lenders or even other fintechs weren't addressing?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me on the show. And of course, it's a big step. And, this big step was basically fueled by the data and conviction which I was able to build in the last 2 years of running Optimo Capital. See, any country's biggest asset is its land and property. For India, 53% of our land and property, our assets become land and property. However, in our country, the mortgage to GDP ratio is less than 9%, while for all other developed nations, it is above 50%, which means that we are not utilizing our biggest asset to grow our GDP. This statistics itself was enough for me to build the conviction on creating a digital journey for loan against property. Currently, most NBFCs and banks have digitized the unsecured business loan or personal loan journey. At Optimo, we are digitizing the journey of giving loan against property to businessmen.
Prashant, you've highlighted that nearly 75% of India's 4.8 crore small business owners lack a formal credit history, yet they own property that often sits idle as an asset. How is Optimo helping them unlock that wealth to fund business growth? If you could take us through your tech stack, how are you compressing approvals to just hours and disbursals under a week versus the traditional 4 to 6 week cycle?
We have picked up the right states to do it. The southern state, which is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, they have digitized their land record. Now, using those digital land records and building a proprietary AI-enabled technology on top of that, we are able to give in-principle sanction letter within hours of person applying. To be able to do that, we need to check what is the valuation of the property and also what is the title check of the property. Remaining all things, the CIBIL check, account aggregator, and the other things were already built in. Now, using our AI tech and the massive database of digital land records, we were able to crack it. And now we are able to offer in-principle sanction letter in a matter of few hours to the customer.
Prashant, you've made borrowing as simple as sending a WhatsApp message. Tell us what kind of adoption are you seeing from smaller towns and first-time borrowers through that channel?
So we have started the channel, which is a WhatsApp number. I don't want to promote it right now. Rather than, I just say there's a WhatsApp number which is available on our website. People can just message on that number. There's a QR code which is available. We are basically promoting that QR code which people can just scan, and immediately after scan they will land to the WhatsApp page. And over WhatsApp they can just have a conversation with our chatbot. And in that conversation they are just sharing the information which we need. It's a 5-minute information. And just like you would give your address to Swiggy, Zomato, or Blinkit, quick commerce companies, you would just give us your address. And on the basis of your address and your information, we will verify whether you actually own that property and what is the worth of that property. And on the basis of that, we will give you in principle sanction letter in a matter of a few hours.
Okay. Now, Optimo Capital has built a 350 crore rupee loan book in 18 months, expanded to 56 cities, and has been profitable for over 15 months. Prashant, tell us what's driving this operational discipline and early profitability.
Well, most of the operational discipline is coming from my experience at EaseMyTrip, which was also bootstrap profitable since the month 1. Optimo is also profitable from second month onwards. It's been 15 months of consistently running profitable company. Most of it is coming from the technology which we have built in, which we are able to utilize, unlike any other banks or NBFCs, and also the discipline of running a very financial prudent company. Plus, the other thing which is happening is that the word of mouth is spreading very fast, where people are realizing that Optimo Capital is giving sanction letter much faster compared to any other, and which is why a lot of customers are coming by themselves.
Prashant, India's mortgage to GDP ratio is just 9% compared to over 50% in developed economies. That's a massive gap. In fact, the mid-ticket loan against property market is pegged at 22 lakh crore rupees, with only 28% being served today. So what's Optimo's roadmap to capture this wide space, especially as you move deeper into tier 3 and beyond?
See, what we have done is we have created a tech company, and that tech company owns the NBFC. So, of course, right now we are in the process of building our own book. But however, very shortly we will allow others to use our software, our AI system, and our database to basically offer loan against property for their customers. We would allow banks and NBFCs as well to use our system, because in order to meet this massive gap of 22 lakh crore, just one Optimo Capital will not be enough.
Absolutely. So one final question. If you were to look 3 years ahead, what's your vision for Optimo? Do you see this becoming the default way for India's MSMEs to borrow against property, and any growth targets that you can share with us?
If there is one NBFC space which is left, almost untouched at this moment, it is loan against property. It is done in a physical way for far too long. And Optimo is over here to redefine that. 3 years ahead, we would want to be known as the pioneers of doing digital loan against property. And I believe that in future, even the lien market and the mortgage will also become online. Once they become online, then this entire journey will truly be digital, where customer, while sitting at his home, can get a loan against his house without even moving an inch, and his house is already mortgaged to an NBFC or a bank. So that is what I am looking forward in the future.
Okay, on that note, it's time for me to wrap up our conversation. Prashant, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street, and wish you the very best.